but that's what we do around here. It'll be okay. So if you remember back then, the Qs, I'm a brother of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. The Qs, our national signature party is the Mardi Gras. We have it every year at the same time, and it's real nice, and, the brothers get real live, and we sell tickets in advance, and this is 1992, and I think we probably sold tickets for maybe $20. $20 back in 1992 for a college kid was a lot of damn money. So we had this signature event, and I'd be damned if the Mickey Ficky Kappas didn't throw a dollar party the same night. That's right. Them SOBs threw a dollar party the same night. Free beer, free alcohol, free food, free everything, and cut our knees up from under us. Oh, boy. And I tell you what, boy, we were so mad. And, we were ready to fight. We were ready to fight, but we were trying to graduate. I was trying to graduate, so we didn't really fight them or anything like that. But that's what this whole Dollar Tree thing is, man. And my wife says, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and ladies that are in the chat room, or fellas too, I actually walk into these little places every once in a while, but I don't pay that much attention. But my wife says that Dollar Tree is going to absolutely shut Dollar General down. Like, Dollar Tree sells their stuff for $1. And Dollar General, they got some things for $1, but they sell a lot of things more than $1. They breaking, the dollar hustle code or whatever. And so my wife is like, within a year, Dollar Tree is going to run Dollar General out of business. That's bad. That's shady as hell. That's shady as hell, man. I just thought that was funny, man. If you, I actually posted a video on my Facebook page, the Doug Stewart Show, or not the Doug Stewart Show. Maybe I can download it and put it on the Doug Stewart Show chat group. But I just posted the video, did a little Facebook Live on my page, Doug Stewart on Facebook. Check it out, man. Very, very funny and interesting stuff. All right, 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Yeah. So you see the title of today's show, man. The Hall of Fame got some new people, man. Jeff Bagwell, Tim Raines, and Yvonne Pudge Rodriguez have been elected to baseball's Hall of Fame. Congratulations to them. While Vladimir Guerrero, Trevor Hoffman fell just short of the 75% threshold required in voting by the Baseball Writers Association of America. Remember, the writers vote on all of this stuff. Jeff Bagwell drew 86.2%. Tim Raines, whenever I think of Tim Raines, and if you old school video games you remember, Tim Raines was an absolute beast on RBI. Why y'all booing Tim Raines? Tim Raines was an absolute beast. Like, if Tim Raines got on first base on RBI, and RBI was this baseball video game, and it had fat little chubby men. And if Tim Raines got on base, he was guaranteed to steal second, and he was guaranteed to steal third and home. You could not stop that SOB. But Tim Raines got in with 86% of the vote. Trevor Hoffman was 5 votes short, and Vlad Guerrero, when I think of Vlad Guerrero, I think of a ninja, old-school baseball player that didn't use nam, glove, anything, just country as hell, hit the ball out of the park. Vlad Guerrero came 15 votes short. Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens continued to gain a little bit of ground in voting, but also fell short of the election. Barry Bonds got 53%, and Roger Clemens got 54%. Right. Clemens received 45.2% of the vote a year ago, while Bonds just pulled in 44%. So basically what's going on is they're moving up slowly. And now a couple of these guys have been on the ballot for a long, long time, and for whatever reasons, and we don't talk a lot of baseball around here, but I know and in tune with these particular names because they were the biggest names in baseball. But Jeff Bagwell, many years, came along during the steroid era, and for many, many years it had been suspected that he had been using performance-enhancing drugs. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, he never got, from what I remember, and somebody can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, from what I remember, he never failed a drug test, but he had acknowledged at some point, and I should have looked this up, I apologize, he acknowledged at some point that he had used steroids before they started testing for the particular steroid that he used. Now, he admitted that. And once again, it was before baseball had started testing for that particular drug. But he admitted that. And he had, been on the ballot for many years, I think 7 years before getting in this year. But he had admitted that, and they let him in. So what this kind of says, Tim Raines also had issues not with performance-enhancing drugs, but Tim Raines had issues with drugs. I think he had been suspended a couple of times for using cocaine. But, Tim Raines had been on the ballot for many, many years as well. And so they both get in. And so now baseball people are saying, Barry Bonds and Clemens get a couple more votes than they did last year. Are the minds changing towards the steroid era in baseball? Will Barry Bonds get in? I'll tell you what, if they left Jeff Bagwell in, and they let in, several other guys that have been questioned, even Pudge Rodriguez, it was rumored, and there was this quote that Pudge Rodriguez had where he was asked about had he ever used performance-enhancing drugs, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and he gave some quote like, only God knows, basically, leaving it to anyone's opinion or whatever. Pudge is in. Jeff Bagwell's in. Barry Bonds got to get in at some point. Now, Barry Bonds, based on his numbers, should have been in first ballot, all day, every day. And remember, the thing about Barry Bonds that I got to remind a lot of people that don't listen to this show, because one thing I do is I remind you. Like, I remind people about Tom Brady and the New England Patriots and the culture of cheating. I will remind you. Now, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. What I do better than anybody else in sports media is I remind you, because a lot of times sports media, they have biases, and they like Tom Brady, and they like the Patriots, so they don't want to remind you of their culture of cheating. Let me remind you something about Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds has never, ever, ever failed a drug test. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Barry Bonds and questioning in that trial for performance-enhancing drugs, which is stupid, that they would have a trial, they would have, depositions and people talking about steroids. Our government got time to worry about something like that, but that's neither here nor there. Barry Bonds testified that his trainer gave him something at one point to rub onto his legs or rub onto his muscles for soreness. That's it. He said he didn't know what it was. He just took it from his trainer. His trainer went to jail. As a matter of fact, I think his trainer, his boy, is still in jail because he has never testified that Barry Bonds used some type of performance-enhancing drugs. Right. Barry Bonds testified, yeah, he gave me this stuff to put on. I thought it was flaxseed oil. That's all I thought it was. Now, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, you may think Barry Bonds is guilty as sin. You may think that. You have no quantitative proof. In relative terms to all these other cats, man, and all these other stories, you got no proof at all. Why ain't Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame? That's that BS, okay? The man has never been failed a drug test. The man was probably the best baseball player ever in our era. I'm 47 years old. It's not even close. They couldn't even pitch to Barry Bonds. They couldn't even pitch to Barry Bonds the last couple of years of his career. They just walked that ninja. They may have bases loaded. They just said, man, F it, walk him. We're not going to pitch to this ninja. Right. We're not even going to pitch to this guy. Yeah, we're going to walk and run in, but we rather that than just pitch to this ninja and he hit the ball out in McCovey Cove. We're not going to do that at all. So I think it's unjust. They bullying Barry Bonds. They bullying him. Edgar Martinez Vlad Guerrero had 58.6% of the vote. Once again, Clemens and Bonds. Mike Mussina, pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles, had 51%. Curt Schilling, 45%. Curt Schilling getting hurt politically with all the ignorant, ridiculous things he's been saying lately. Lee Smith, former pitcher, 34.2%. And Manny Ramirez, 23.8%. I got to look at Manny's numbers. Like, Manny's hit well over 500 home runs, right? And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Like, kind of like a barometer is 500 home runs, 3,000 hits. If you hit one of those milestones, you usually get into the Baseball Hall of Fame. I got to look at Manny's numbers. I'm pretty sure Manny Ramirez had over 500 hits. But Manny, I think, has been popped for steroids as well, so he's probably getting a lot of kickback, a lot of pushback from the writers as well. The whole thing is ridiculous. You know, steroids really look the other way, or baseball looked the other way with the whole steroid issue. You know, they had marketing campaigns around it. Chicks dig the long ball. Y'all remember that? You know, you had the Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire thing going on, back and forth, back and forth. I mean, it revitalized baseball, and baseball knew exactly what was going on. Everybody was talking about it. Jose Canseco was telling you what was going on, and they absolutely ignored it. So if they ignored it, why should we worry about it? Thank you, Donovan Freeman. Manny Ramirez has 555 home runs. 555 home runs. And I looked at who was it? Jeff Bagwell. Jeff Bagwell made it to the All-Star game like 4 times. In relative terms to a lot of these other cats that made it to the All-Star game, you know, double-digit times, that's ridiculous. You put in Jeff Bagwell, and I don't have anything against Jeff Bagwell. All I'm saying is, for the record, he acknowledged that he used steroids before in his career, even though it was before they were tested, and his numbers are paltry in comparison to Barry Bonds, Manny Ramirez, and cats like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. These cats pick and choose who they like, and it was a lot of talk about Jeff Bagwell, and if you've seen Jeff Bagwell and his stature, man, you know good and well Jeff Bagwell on something. You know good and well. Allegedly. Let me make sure and I say that. So it's real silly to me. It's real silly to me because Barry Bonds didn't talk to the media, or he was kind of short with the media. We're gonna punish Barry Bonds. Based on a couple of articles I read, he's probably going to get in, but it's going to be many, many more years before he does. And that's a shame. They couldn't even pitch to that ninja. They couldn't even pitch to him. That's how great the man was. They couldn't even pitch the damn ball to this man. When we get back from the break, man, more on that. More about 2013. That's our throwback year. We'll read some of your chat. We got a lot to do today on the Doug Stewart Show. Throwback Thursday, 2013. Back in 3 minutes. Don't go away.